Okay, so you're on program. Let's say you get access to our app. Let's talk through your daily objectives. So, first things first, I want you to get in the habit of reading or watching your daily lesson or workout. Even if you don't plan on doing it, it's good to just kind of like ingrain it in your brain, see what you're supposed to be doing, get some ideas of exercise variations, that kind of thing. Now, this first challenge, we're going to focus on breaking things down into one movement pattern and muscle group each day, and I want you to experiment with different exercise variations based on that movement pattern. So we're going to give you a video to watch, and then you're going to break it down. So I want you to determine which exercises you can do or the exercise you eventually want to do, whether that means buying training equipment or it's just too challenging for you right now and eventually want to work toward that over the course of different training cycles. So again, you're going to identify easier exercise variations that you might be able to do for higher reps or warm-ups. So these are going to be things like 10 to 20 rep range, right? So for example, let's take the squatting pattern. An easier exercise variation for you might be just a body weight squat. And then where I want you to identify more challenging exercise variations that you might do for lower reps, anywhere from 1 to 10 reps. Now, if you have load, you might be, the more challenging exercise might be something like a goblet squat or a 2 dumbbell front squat. If you don't have load, it might be something more like a depth jump squat where you're squatting down to full depth, exploding upwards and back down. Very challenging movement. Now you could also do things like overhead squats where you're working with just a broomstick, and we're working on that mobility. So anything that gets you in that squatting pattern, if it's challenging for you, an overhead squat might be really challenging for you. That might be in that 1 to 10 rep range. Now, again, you might not be able to do a squat very easily either. So maybe a bodyweight squat is your more challenging exercise. And you might do more of a supported or a chair supported squat as your easier exercise. So again, I want you to watch those exercise variations, figure out what you can and can't do. There's a ton of different variations there and loading options for you based on what things that you have at home. Now, training wise, I like to set things up, like I said earlier, as 10 plus minutes of intentional training daily. Now, you can do your warm up and movement prep, which I highly recommend you do first. And then what I want you to do is, if you can do the movements for the day or the prescribed training for the day, do that as well. Even if you, for your 10 minutes, you skip the warm up and movement and you're just going to go right to the exercise, I just care that you get 10 minutes in a day and hopefully you get the full workout in. And if you don't, that's fine too. Now, if you want to go off script, you're more than welcome to. If you want to add things in, subtract, but basically what we're trying to do is every day we're going to build on this. So I would say, if you're just starting off the program, we're going to go through some squatting patterns first, pushing, pulling. It's more important that you're doing something daily than to just kill yourself in a single day and be sore for the rest of the week, right? We all know how that ends up. A lot of us come back to training. Maybe you had a consistent training habit and you've been used to regular workouts where you're training like an hour at a time, whatever. Just remember, if you haven't been training for a while, this is all going to be new. It's more important that you're building the daily training habit than killing yourself one day and not getting back to a workout for the next 4 or 5 days, right? So let's try to make sure that we leave a little in the tank for every single day. And then some days might be a lot more intense, but you have to get at least 10 minutes the next day. Okay, so let's say you miss a day. That's fine. You're not a bad person. I built in makeup days or active recovery days into the plan, so you can always go back and kind of catch up on something as well. I recommend that since this first challenge is we're building on a bunch of different skills or movement patterns, I would recommend that you go back to a day that you missed and experiment with those movement patterns and try to go in order because there is some method to our madness here. Now, logging, I think, is really important as well. Log what you did. See, it's good to have an objective way to look back at what you did over time. And then, because you can really it brings a lot of clarity to your situation, right? So take notes on what you did. Now, this could be, you could do it in a spreadsheet. You could write it directly into our app, into the messages, and just kind of let us know what you did. Some people take notes on their own little notepad and then take a picture of that note and send us either a screenshot or a picture directly to us. I love seeing what you guys are doing each day. And then it gives us some clarity on how you're using the app, gives us feedback on what to do, what people have at home, all of that kind of stuff. Now, in the app, we're also tracking just a simple yes or no answer. Did you do your 10 minutes of intentional training each day? Did you read and watch your videos for the day, right? Very simple binary yes, no questions. So I want you to go into the app, After your lesson, you should see some actions there. Mark today's action as either done or not done. And then if you didn't do it, mark it as not done. So if you want to go back to it, you can always go back to it in the future. Now, this app is going to be on a daily pace. So we're going to drip out something a little bit every day just to encourage you to kind of keep up with things for right now.